the arcade, the NES, the fucking Neo Geo. I don't fucking know.
He's got balloon fight. He's got balloon fight.
You don't even know the platforms of Circus Charlie. It was only on like 3 things. It was on C64. Oh no, it's more than 3 things. C64, MSX, NES, of course, and then it was based on the arcade game. I think there might have been one more.
Is that
and
5?
Then all he needs is balloon fight, and he's got 5.
Is that 5?
I should throw Bard's Tale in there just to piss off, piss off the whole Deos.
Oh Jesus!
How many people?
No one else is a lame game.
Off?
Fucking Bard's Tale. Shit.
Have you ever played that game? No, you haven't.
No. But you know why I haven't played it? Because it's bad.
Just start dropping like you hate Oingo Boingo just to piss off Wolf now.
Oh
just
yeah,
go off brand, off genre.
You know what else sucks?
And
all
Master
roguelikes.
Blaster.
Any roguelike.
And
terrible.
Master Blaster. And Master Blaster.
There's no point. If I wanted to rinse, wash, repeat, I'd do my laundry.
My God. All right.
I love you.
Wow.
You've heard the best from him. Now hear the worst from him. Chard Monk's bottom 5 today on. I am not editing games over.
Don't bash games over the intro. I want to see you make the gesture to yourself.
Yeah, I'm supposed to start talking.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Press B to Cancel, your favorite retro game podcast. This week we actually mean it. If you didn't tell, we
wait till I get to my list. Maybe wait. Just wait.
I was about to go on and say that we recorded a bunch of stuff for the holiday break, but this episode will not air during the holidays. This comes after. No. It's been a week. This week,
at least we're consistent.
That's true, right? We're starting off. Well, maybe starting off. We're definitely taking 2025 in a consistent direction as we go forward with the podcast. This week we got some housekeeping to do. We've done for various hosts on Press B. We've done a top 5 episode for each of us, and we've also done a bottom 5, except for Sinistar and Chard because they joined a few years ago. So we want to kind of tidy that up and get that loose end tied off, and we're going to do that today with Chard's bottom 5. To provide some moral support and hold that broom, it's going to be Sinistar with me. Sinistar, how you doing this week?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not awake enough for this episode, but that's okay. And of course, the episode, your name's in the title for this week. Chard, how you doing this week?
I'm doing okay. I'm ready to. I'm ready. Who's going to hold down my arms and legs while the other one beats me with said broom?
it's just beat you or shove it where it doesn't belong. Breath of the Wild is not was going to be on your list, Chard. Really, Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, it's up
all
there.
Right, so
top 10 at least.
Sorry, I'm just for the audio listeners. I'm going to throw at the end of the episode. If you're watching us on YouTube, I'm sorry, but Chard went off on a wild tangent before we hit record button on some games that didn't make the cut. So I'm curious to see what is on his bottom 5 games. So for those who don't know, when we say bottom 5. It's the opposite of a top 5, right? Everybody has their personal list of favorite games. Everybody has a list of games that they don't like or are disappointed in or vehemently hate. So we leave it up to each host to kind of define what the bottom 5 means to them. So Chard, I want you to explain, when I say bottom 5 of Chard Monk, what does that mean to you before we get into the games?
So lately I've been able to play a lot of games that I've enjoyed playing. Previously, when I was doing a lot more retro at the time, I was just kind of rolling the dice and trying to bum rush through a bunch of stuff. Now, that's not to say that this list on here are games that I've streamed or games that I've played recently or what have you. There's a game on here that I fucking adored many, many, many years ago, to the point of where my roommate and I set up 2 TVs in the living room and would play this together every single freaking night after night after night. And then they did stuff to it, to the whatever, and it is very much on my list.
Okay.
Some of them are current.
The proverbial finger.
Basically. Some of them are current, some of them are not so current. But these are games that just didn't make the cut for me in any way, shape, or form. These are games that if you've been to any of my Twitch streams, that you've heard me rage or vent or blow up about. These things about these games, I don't understand the hype, and I'm not a fan of really any of them. I've tried. They've either put me to sleep or just put me in such an angry stupor that I turned off my entire PC because I was tired of playing them.
Okay.
So
All right.
these 5 are maybe redeemable at some point. Don't get me wrong, but as of right now, there's at least 3 or 4 on here that are completely non-redeemable. They are
Okay.
forever trash, and I will never think anything different.
So 3
But
or 4 are tactics. I got it.
yes, no.
And we're not going to hear Balloon Fight as any of these 5, right? That was the deal we made before we started going with recording.
No.
Right?
I got the check. Circus Charlie and Balloon Fight did not make the cut. Thank you.
Okay.
They were 6 and 7. They just bounced right off.
That's
they were
fine.
up there, but they slid. They slid.
It's like Billboard. Nobody cares after the top 5 anyway, so it's fine if they're not there. All right. Well, let's start with your number 5 pick, I guess. What's your bottom number 5?
So, the game that I was mentioning before about Lord Optic and I were once roommates in Seattle for a while, and we would bring our big screen TVs out into the living room. We would put them side by side. We would sit down with our Xboxes, and we'd fire this bad boy up, and we would play Destiny all day, every single day. We'd do raids. We'd do the glass vaults. We'd do all that shit. We played the hell out of Destiny 1. I absolutely adored that game to the point to where Optic also applied for a job at Bungie because it's up here, and he was 1 interview away from nailing that. So
Really,
that's like how much we were fucking into this shit. Then Destiny 2 hit shelves. I pre-ordered the big version. I paid $109 for this fucking game. It came out. I sat down. I turned it on. I had all the fucking spare shit. I was ready to go because you know what? For the last like 8-9 months of my life was nothing but Destiny. My wife knew more about Destiny than she ever cared to know about Destiny. How could you go wrong with a second Destiny? They said it was basically going to be the same thing. This game made me hate everything Bungie has ever produced. And I know that there's been updates. I know that it's free to play now, except for the DLCs. I know. I know that they've gone back and they've changed everything, and now it's more like the old one. But you know what? You should have just fucking done that to begin with. So Destiny 2, easily top 5, number 5 on my list. Worst game I've ever played, most disappointing game I've ever played, and was spurned. This game spurned me so bad that I stopped playing any of those styles. I was so mad. So Destiny 2 is up there on number 5.
Now I've played it since it became free. Actually, when they made it free, I played it. Now I want to pick a bone here with games that have done this. Like, I get that after a certain time period, after a certain run, making your game free is a way to get fresh blood. But at the same time, it's a little bit of a fuck you to everybody that spent $109 on a game, right? And I get it. Like, they're not going to make any more money off of this unless they make it free and then start selling, the additional packs or whatever, right? Cosmetics. Right. I played it when it was free, and I'll be honest with you, I played Destiny 1 and I enjoyed it. I didn't love it as much as you did, but I enjoyed Destiny 1. I felt like this game was just confusing from the drop. Like, you get dropped in, you've got your little, dude that talks to you, whatever. You're running along, you think it's one game, and then you end up in a little like area, and all of a sudden your quests are weird. I was like, okay. And I mean, basically, I just treated it as, well, I'll go to where the quest marker is and I'll just shoot shit. And so, yeah, I played it for a while, and then I was like, and I've played this game. Uninstall. I Street Fighter 6'd it. I've beaten that game.
To be fair, I'm sure that I probably would not have been as enthralled by this game had I not played it with friends. I mean, playing it with Lord Optic, he and I knew I've told you guys in the past that when Optic and I go and visit our respected families and they have game night, he and I are not allowed to be on a team. They will not let us be on a team because we know each other's signals and moves and all this other shit, and it's almost not fair. That he and I, we murder everybody we play against. So this was just another example of like, this is fun because he and I are playing this together and we have our own code and shit that we're doing stuff. And when they put jumping puzzles in a first-person shooter, that should have been my first sign, because there's one thing I hate more than anything is jumping puzzles.
Right.
And when you put it in first-person mode, you hate the world. I don't know what your problem is, why you need jumping puzzles. And if third person, fine, I can see around me, like Aloy or Jedi Fallen Order or something. Fine, not when I don't have full 160 view around my character. That's ridiculous. So,
well, and the jumping puzzles honestly felt like filler.
Yeah.
You're like, I've got my weapon. Like it's almost a looter shooter, almost, right? You're upgrading your weapons, you're doing this, and then all of a sudden you're like, I got to go do a jumping puzzle. Great. So give me something to shoot.
A lot of the raids had a lot of jumping puzzles you had to do. And I really liked the raid setup because it was very much that online, one person had to do one thing, another person had to do another thing. And when you do the thing correctly, then everybody can converge on the target and attack it. And I really thought that was a really cool system that they were doing. And they still do that. I'm sure they do that in the new one. But just, I don't know, maybe, I guess I know how the people that bought Cyberpunk that expected to be a full game came out, but I knew better, so I was cool with it. But I expected that thing to be ready to go, hot off the press, for as much money as I dropped on that thing, and it did not.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's free now and I don't have the DLC, and I spent more than half the people that are fucking playing the game right now, that pisses me the fuck off. So
it should.
Destiny 2, get out of here.
So
You're
it's
done.
funny.
We're done with you, Destiny 2.
I'm with you on Destiny 2. I mean, I don't hate it, but I never played the first game. I've tried it a couple times. I tried it when it first came out. I think I bought it. Yeah, I bought it actually. I did. And I wonder if I refunded it. Probably not. I don't think it was on Steam originally. But I have a copy somewhere where I did buy it, and I did play it. I bought it because I think I just finished trying Anthem. I'd gone the long way to get early access to Anthem on Origin's stupid launcher, and got so upset at Anthem. I'm like, I have to play a game. I need this online co-op shooting fix. I need this, right? I want something that is maybe not an MMO, but is MMO adjacent enough where it hits that itch. And I wanted this kind of style of game so bad. So Anthem didn't work for me. So I'm like, Destiny 2. I gotta try Destiny 2. And I just bounced immediately. I found the combat was too slow. The movement was just plodding. I felt like I wasn't going anywhere fast. The classes are different enough that I thought was cool. The music and graphics are fine. The lore is great in Destiny. Like I've gone through the Wikipedias on Destiny 1 and 2 just to find out what the hell the Traveler is. That shit's cool. Yeah. But when you're playing
it's a cool story.
The story's cool, but the gameplay itself I found way too slow. In a lot of ways, it reminds me too much of Halo, which makes sense because who made Halo, right? Originally. So it's the same idea. Their style of gameplay is just too slow of a shooter for me. I didn't jive with it. Controller gameplay was great though. I give him kudos for that. But I found it too slow. Enough that when I went back to Warframe. And the first time I got really heavily into Warframe was because I got so disappointed in Destiny 2. Just the slow pace and what it was trying to do. I'm like, fuck, Warframe does all of this and it's also free. So I'll just play Warframe.
Right.
Sinistar, you make an absolutely killer point about you buy the game at release and they decide to change the business model up several years later. That is a big FU to the player base.
Well,
they try and make good on it though, right? They try and do things that might have made good, but I mean, it's not going to be the same thing.
At the same time, I mean, I do understand the impetus behind it, right? I understand, hey, basically sales have dried up. Right. And so we need to draw in new blood, right? I mean, what's the soccer car game? My
FIFA.
gosh.
Oh,
no. Soccer car game. CAR.
Rocket League.
Rocket League.
Thank you. I have just to let you know how disappointed I was with spoiler with Rocket League. I bought Rocket League and I loved Rocket League and I have hundreds of hours in Rocket League and I can't even remember the name anymore. Like, just to give you an idea.
Destiny. Listen, I had to go through my library to be like, oh fuck, I remember playing that game and being totally pissed about it.
Yeah. But seriously, Rocket League, I bought it and then like years later when I was in the middle of being, a player, they made it free and then they ruined it with all of the stupid kitschy bullshit that they add on to free games.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yep.
with you. You know the other thing that pisses me
I
off
mean-
with Destiny 2? They get rid of content. I hate that in
Yeah.
games like this, right?
Fuck, dude, the Galahorn was like the most sought after fucking weapon in Destiny 1. And when I got the Galahorn, it was like, it was marriage. It was essentially as close to getting my wife to say yes to me as it could be getting the Galahorn. Like, that's how big a deal it was.
He's still waiting,
I-
folks. He's
and
still
I'm
waiting.
Still waiting.
No,
yeah.
wait. I freaking love the Galahorn. It was such a great rocket launcher. It was fun. I don't care if everybody had it. It was still Galahorn is Destiny. That's Destiny. And they completely removed it out of Destiny 2.
Not
And
even
then
that.
they're like, you know what? Maybe we should bring it back. I was like, no shit, idiots.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have it in the game.
Well, and I think Jake's talking about like actual storyline content
Yes,
as well.
quests
Yeah.
are being removed.
And that kills me too, because to me, don't call it a sold game, call it a living game, and then I'll steer fucking clear. Because I know for a fact that I am never going to want to play it, because I want to play all the content, right? And they've removed it, right? I'm a stupid completionist. I shouldn't be, but I am.
Right.
And yeah, so all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, you're playing with people and they're like, oh, this quest, it was so great. You can't do it anymore.
Yeah. It's just ass. Especially if you're new to the franchise and you want to go back and check it out. It's stupid. So like, this is a game that there was so much hype for Destiny 2. Like Bungie was saying that they had a bunch of journalists come over to show previews, and they're touting it as, this is our 10-year plan for Bungie. It's Destiny. They didn't say Destiny 2. It's Destiny, the platform for 10 years.
Right.
This is a game that broke the company, right? I mean, the only thing they've announced since then is Marathon, which is the first. Marathon is a first-person shooter, a legendary first-person shooter on Mac, if you're a Mac gamer, and they're making it an extraction shooter. Fucking what? And then like Sony bought them, and you think, okay, Sony money plus Bungie, win-win. Sony laid off a bunch of staff last year. They're basically gutting the company. We may not even get a Destiny. I think they said they're cutting off, or they're changing the format of expansions to be less like milestone expansions and some other kind of model. So they're changing the business model again from the sounds of it. We may not even get a Destiny 3. Like, that's how bad this game is done for Bungie. And it's wild because Bungie was one of the PC gaming
Destiny
companies,
2,
right?
Destiny 1 was fucking
massive,
amazing. And they were like, they're basically like Bungie was like, Microsoft, fuck you, we're going on our own. And they went out and did their own thing, and they made Destiny, and everybody's like, fuck Halo, dude. We got Destiny, man. This game is badass. And I was one of those people. I was like, this is way better than the Halo stuff. This is going to be fantastic. And it's got DLCs and live updates, season passes, all the shit. This thing's going to go on for fucking ever. And then like a year later, they're like, nah, we're going to make 2.
And funny enough, a Microsoft owned company now has that product. It's called World of Warcraft. Right. Like that is a game. That is a game that I was beta testing when I met my wife.
Right.
Just to let you know how long that thing's been going on. Right.
Well, I'm glad we can all feel the sour taste in our mouths of Destiny 2.
Yeah, this is a
Destiny 2. Good pick. Good pick.
Good pick. Okay.
Well, we can't all be angry.
Probably
going to
get a little worse from here. Right.
It's okay. Well,
I'm gonna get a little worse from here on out.
It's going to be 11. It's going to be 11 for all the hate.
Yeah. All right.
So for those who are watching the YouTube episode, unfortunately, our recording software borked in a way I've not seen it ever do before. So we're switching over to a Discord call because thankfully we have that as an option. So we're gonna pick right up where we cut the break. Chard, you're just giving us your number 4 of your bottom 4. Let's get back into that.
Number 4, yes. So number 4 of the bottom 5 of my list has to be Mega Man 7. Mega Man 7 is a very much hated game in my house. I cannot get behind it. It's when they made the sprites bigger. I think it was on the Super Nintendo at one point, maybe. It's just a bad game. It's just not good. It takes, I mean, it was so bad. You have to think of it this way, guys. This game was so poorly received in my house. And I feel like the world that when they did the Legacy Collection and they did Mega Man's 9 and 10, they went back to the original artwork formula that we all know from Mega Man 1 through 6. So, and Mega Man, everybody loves Mega Man. I love Mega Man. I'm wearing the Mega Man shirt. I love Mega Man. But Mega Man 7, I know it introduced treble and bass. Fucking cool, whatever. It's so bad. And it's just, the boss fights are like impossible. You get a soccer ball as a weapon, and that's one of Wily's weaknesses. Fucking real soccer ball.
I thought that was not 8. No. Okay.
I might have been 8. Might have been. I remember a soccer ball.
Whoa! Hold on. I've been hit in the head with a soccer ball. It's one of my weaknesses too. Well, I'm just going to point that out.
When you have a soft head, maybe you and Wily have a soft head. I don't know what to tell you. But my point is that I specifically remember being in a fight with Bass towards, I think it was towards the end. It might have been the boss fight, and their expectation of you to basically not take any hits and take out the mini boss that takes you into the Wily fight was asinine. It was fucking stupid. And I know probably with practice you could get better at it, but it felt so too much. It just felt like too much, and I just didn't care for it. And I gritted my teeth and I tried to finish that game. I got all the way to Wily and I gave up. I walked away from that game. Cannot stand it. Sorry for the Mega Man 7 fans out there. I know there's a few out there that I'm actually pretty good friends with. I don't know what you see in this game, guys. I don't see it. So it rests very comfortably at the top 4 of my bottom list because it's a bad game. Bad game.
Yeah, for me, like I like Mega Man 2. I mean, the NES ones anyway, or maybe the first 4. But after the 4th one, I kind of fell off. I kind of got sick of it. I'll be honest with you. And then when I first saw that Mega Man 7 was on SNES, I figured I'd give it a go. But something there, you're right, does not translate well to the SNES. I don't know what they did differently, but it just doesn't feel the same. I think I much prefer what they did with Mega Man X, where if you're going to a new platform, completely radically change the physics and the design of Mega Man. Works better because it's its own thing now. It's a different franchise. It feels different, and that's okay. I'm with you. I don't think 7 is a great game.
Yeah, I was gonna say the SNES introduced Mega Man X, so you've got the gem that is Mega Man X, and then they produce this. I don't have a lot of experience with 7 because I didn't play most of the the main series.
Right. Yeah. X is fast. Like it's a faster game. The story is really strong.
Right.
X is a great Super Nintendo Mega Man, and it should have just been left at that. I'm trying to understand that maybe they were like, Capcom's like, well, let's try our hand in this. We have the power to make something look better and run better on all this stuff. But it felt clunky. It felt slow. The boss fights were a pain in the ass, like more so than usual. Like they weren't fun. And I don't feel like at any point I would have gotten good enough to beat like Mega Man 7 to a point where I'm like, hey, it's part of the list. 5 is easy mode. 6 was all right. And then 7 just tanks it for me. And I did not play anything until I touched 9 and 10 a little bit later and a little bit of 8. But 7, I specifically remember just, you get the cool rush thing, get the rush, rush strength and the rush jet and all this other cool stuff that goes with that. But good gravy. That game just needs to not be a thing. So very, very disappointed with Mega Man 7. So you sit comfortably at number 4.
All right.
I was just looking to see if soccer ball was 7 or 8 because I remember seeing that soccer ball and thinking, oh, that's a neat gimmick, but what the hell? That's weird. Okay,
it's 7, right?
Is it 7? Yeah. I can't confirm.
I
don't know if there is a fandom for Final Fantasy 7 for Mega Man 7.
I know a few people that are big fans of
really?
Mega Man 7.
Okay, yeah. I love Mega Man. I say that I do, but something about the 16th generation 4 just never hit with me. And I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of X. Not to say that's bad. I would never say it's bad. I have people with pitchforks outside my door if I did that. But yeah, I'm with you. That's a solid 4 for sure.
Okay. Look at that. Number 2 already in, and you don't hate me yet.
Yeah. So now, and as long as Discord doesn't break on us, I think we can safely do number 3.
So we're gonna have to switch platforms for every single game.
God, don't jinx me. Google Meet anybody? Zoom? Dare we go to Zoom next? Is that what we got to do?
Whatever needs a camera and a mic, I'm there. I got you.
Slack is coming up.
Slack is coming up.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Teams, Microsoft Teams. Let's
No,
go.
God.
I'm just gonna
fuck
record on
Teams.
OBS and
God, I
send
hate
it.
Teams.
Yo, fucking Teams. You don't even need a green screen to have that background. Anyways, it looks like garbage, but that's not the point. Anyway, speaking of garbage, let's go to our number 3 pick. We're gonna start seeing a trend now. So from the next 3 games that I pick, now there has to be an understanding. I'm changing something for you guys because you're right about this.
Okay.
There has to be an understanding that during the kind of the budding existence of my streamdom into retro, I did a year of Final Fantasy. I played 1 through 15 back to back to back, except for 11. I played 14 later on, but that is neither here nor there. So within that, I have found games that I truly adore and fucking games that are really bad. They're really bad. But we played them. I played through them. I beat them. I beat every single one of them. No matter how bad they were, we stuck out our guns, and then I just complained about it a lot when we were done. So the next set of games are all going to be from that franchise, but they're going to be smattered in a certain order for you guys. All right? So without further ado, top 3 games that Chard does not care for. They're going to be outside my house with pitchforks and a torch. Final Fantasy Tactics can go to hell. That game is a mess. I do not care for it. I don't know why people like it. It is convoluted. It's probably got a great story, but you know what? I can't fucking listen to the story because I'm so busy watching all of my fucking soldiers that I've put time and money and fucking energy into fucking permadie. Stupid.
Well,
If you want to play, listen, my idea of a good tactical RPG is Shining Force 2. That's a fun one because you connect with characters, you like them. You got fucking Peter. He's flying around blowing shit up. He's cool as hell. But when he dies, I can res him. Or if he dies, we just start over. I don't lose these people that I spent all my time into. And you know what? It's the viewers that ruin this for me. It's the goddamn viewers. Because everybody wants to tell me the way that this game should work. And I'll tell you
That's
the game
streaming.
doesn't work at all. It's a bad game. It's not a good game. I don't like tactical games, and I certainly do not like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Okay.
It is too long, it's too convoluted, and it's dumb. It's dumb.
You don't like notable characters such as Agresius
Who?
or Alma Baluv or Balathier or
Balthier?
Argith
Balthier's from
Aldathus
Final Fantasy 11
or
10
or
no, he's
everybody's favorite Chard, Mustadio Bernacia. Now, you don't
I know Mustadio Benacia.
Or a notable
He's,
character. Cloud
he's
Strife
an
is in this
famous-
game. Did you know that? Cloud Strife is in Final Fantasy Tactics.
Washingtonian
That's-
opera singer. Yeah. Mustadio Benacia. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Okay. I'm going to give you
It's too much.
that the story is not the greatest. I think it leans too heavily in the thee and thou bullshit. But it's not the only Final Fantasy game that does that. For sure. Right? Isn't 12 like that? Where it's like the whole like Game of Thrones-esque style medieval thing?
Yeah, you know why 12 is like that? Because it's in the same fucking universe as Tactics. It's in Evilise. It's in the same place. So pretty much anything that takes place in Evilise can get fucking bad, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'm going to say, though, I found the combat fantastic. I like tactics games. I also like Shining Force 2, like you. I love this one here. And in fact, a lot of the reasons why I like it is because of Shining Force 2. Because Shining Force 2 is a tactics games where you had spells and had the grid and the movement. I love it. And tactics is basically that. But there's elevation added to the mix. And it has, again, one of my favorite mechanics in RPGs, the job system. I love the job system. And it's because of tactics, honestly. And there's just so many hidden things in this game. So many, there's hidden jobs you can unlock as you go through. There's hidden dungeons. Again, Cloud Strife is in it. Whether you like Cloud or not, the fact that they put him in there as a hidden character, pretty freaking cool. There's a lot to like in this game.
And the job system's badass. It's one of my favorite systems in all Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy V did the job system the best out of all of them, if you want my arguable opinion. But, you know what doesn't happen? Butts/Barts, if he dies, I get to use him again, no matter whether he's a Dragoon or a fucking White Mage. Doesn't matter. I can put all my time, I can grind all these things out, but when I fucking lose all that time and energy, I want nothing to do with it because it just pisses me off. It's like Sinistar with hockey stick difficulties. where you're just like, I'm shutting the fuck down. I have no desire to keep going on this. I spent way too much time on this, and now you're gonna make me start over from the fucking beginning? Absolutely not. That's not fun to me. That's no fun at all. That's like saying, I love my computer setup. I finally have my computer set up in a way that I'm happy with it. Now I'm gonna take a bat to it and start over from the fresh. It's silly. I don't understand. The challenge is there. If you're into the challenge, fucking totally cool. I love Souls games. I love a good challenge. But only when it fucking makes sense. And to me, permadeath, unless it's like Pokemon, even then, doesn't make sense to me. Go for it. What do you got, Sinistar?
I was gonna say I'm gonna join the fest here because we might as well have people hate this podcast. Why not? I watched you play a whole bunch of that on your stream, and I'm not
I give it a fair shake.
Well, but I'm gonna open up the behind the veil a little bit here, Chard. I went and took naps while you were doing battles.
I wish I
Is
could
that
have.
bad, huh? Okay.
Oh God, it's so
guys.
slow, so slow. So
For our listeners who enjoy Final Fantasy Tactics, I'm going to like to take the opportunity to announce my new solo podcast, where we like Final Fantasy Tactics still, and we don't hate a lot of games.
We talk about baking, but we like Final Fantasy Tactics. So come and hang out with us where it won't be bad mouth.
It's a safe space for Tactics fans.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to give you permadeath is ass. I 100% agree with you. But I think, and I'll tell you what I used to do, and it sucks, is I would reload the past save and I would do the battle over again, which is not great gameplay. Like, it's not a good experience for an hour-long battle. You lose one fucking guy and you roll back.
The other thing.
And that sucks. I'm with you. I'm with you there.
So what you're saying is Press B to Save Scum is the new podcast starring Sick Jake.
I know. Listen, I know we joke with GP about him picking this as a hidden gem and all that other shit, and I know he loves this game. But that's the other thing. It's like this game is so consuming. Like the fights literally are hours long, and then there's another 100-hour story that goes along with the 4-hour fight. Like, listen, guys, I'm getting up there in my age, right? And I used to, when I started, I was doing 8-hour streams, no problems. But you know what? It's really difficult to get to 4 nowadays. And 4 hours is a fucking battle in Tactics by itself. That's the opening scene. It's just too much. Like, it doesn't need to be so much.
You might as well invite your friends over. I'm wearing a Shadowrun shirt right now. You might as well invite your friends over to play a TTRPG.
Right.
Because at least you'll be able to hang out with your friends while you're doing a 4-hour battle.
I would enjoy Final Fantasy Tactics on a tabletop board game. That would be fun.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That would be cool. But this, it's for one person. It's just it's a big bite to chew.
I will say that I think Tactics Advance on the GBA is probably a much better tactics game for folks who are interested in Final Fantasy Tactics. But I still like the PS1 game. But
yeah. I played them both, and I thought that one was listen, it's dumbed down. It really is simplified. It makes it a lot easier, so it's more enjoyable because I don't feel like I have to have a fucking encyclopedia book with me on what everything, not only what the characters are saying, but what they're doing on top of that.
You like the calculator class?
Wait. I have to nitpick here for a second because you are Captain Book when you play Elden Ring.
I am. But I enjoy Elden Ring. So I enjoyed Elden Ring, and it's not a TTR. It's not a tactical RPG, which you guys both all know. I'm not a fan of tactical RPGs.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I tried so hard to be like, everybody loves this game. I just need to give it a whirl. And we played it for a couple hours, and I think I did 2 days of it and went, this is dumb. This is not fun. I don't know. I don't get the enjoyment people are getting out of this. So,
well, all right. At the end of the day, I don't gatekeep. If you enjoy tactics, enjoy the hell out of tactics.
Oh yeah.
I also don't gatekeep if Chard didn't like it and it went into the graveyard. That's fine. You know.
Yeah. No, it's your.
I'm gonna shit on it every time it's. Yeah, I'm gonna shit on it every time it's brought up. But you can enjoy it, and I won't think any less or more of you as a person.
You can enjoy your shitty games.
Yeah.
Bro, I play some shit that people are like, why do you like that? Like, fucking
Yeah,
go play
I'm with
Cyborg
you.
Justice and come and tell me that that's a good game. It's not, but I fucking love that game. So, perfect example.
Okay. Yeah.
But, anyways. So, to Final Fantasy Tactics, comfortably sitting at number 3.
Yeah. It
So-
fits. I mean, we were wondering if that would be on the list. We thought it would be. And yeah, it makes sense for you for sure.
The other
All
game
right.
I had, it was a toss-up, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than that did. I made it further in that one until I was just too bored to finish it. So it's a good game. It just did not hold my interest enough. But it's not a bad game to be put on a list. Whilst Tactics makes me want to literally chew on tinfoil rather than play it. So, example. No. All right. So I'm sure everybody's eagerly waiting to hear what our top 2 games are that Chardmonk absolutely despises. Listen, one is not going to be a surprise to fucking anybody. If anybody knows who I am, no one's going to be shocked. So I'll rip into that one pretty well. 2, probably people are going to know. They're not going to be surprised when I say either of these 2 games. They're going to know. So without further ado, in proper order, Final Fantasy VII Remake is number 2 on my list of worst games ever fucking created, because Square thinks I'm an idiot, and they think that just because they can beautify some music and some graphics that I am willing to buy 3 other games that I already have a complete edition of. And they almost did. But Jake and I got together. Jake and I sat down and said, you know what? We're going to do this together. We're going to get through this shit together. We're going to figure out what the fuck the big deal is about this. And
Yep.
Jake, you hated this game almost as much as I did, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. In every conceivable way. I don't understand why this thing exists. It looks great. It has the music I love. It's fine. The story is whatever, but I loved the original. I thought that was a fantastic RPG when I was a kid, and I thought I would really love a remake, but the decision to split it into 3 goddamn games is baffling to me. I don't like it. I don't like how it was. How many hours did we spend getting through remake? Was it like 30 hours, I think, each of us?
Let's
It was around there.
go to our Steam log, and I will let you know
Because
how long it took me to get
Yeah.
through Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Because it's the
Keep
original
talking,
Final
though,
Fantasy VII Midgar was like 10 hours tops, I think, for the original section.
Yeah.
Midgar is like the opening to the original. But this, they took the opening of the original and made it its own fucking game. And it was mind-numbing toward the end. So I think I was around
Remake
30 hours.
Intricade, 30.5 hours. That is not including the amount of time I spent on the PlayStation 4 version that I first bought it on when it first came out, thinking this is totally up my alley. Wow, was I wrong.
Yeah, it's just one of those games where it should, on paper, we both should have loved this game for sure. Because like you like the original when you did your year of Final Fantasy, I think you like this one, right?
7, I've related 7. So 7 has always been kind of middle ground for me. It's a good game. I like it. I like what it did to the series. I always say it's like the Beatles, right? The Beatles did great things for rock and roll music. Not everybody likes the Beatles, but you got to appreciate what it did for that style of music. Final Fantasy VII did the same exact thing. It brought Final Fantasy into the popular spotlight for everybody. It's very popular amongst a lot of folk. It's good. I mean, it doesn't translate well today because it's all polygons and shit, but it's still a good story. It's still a good game. We all hate Cloud, but the story flows well. Like, the story goes where it's supposed to go. There's no fluff. There's no filler. You don't have to listen to Jessie talk all incessantly or
Jessie's
the side
great.
characters. Nope. No, she's not. She's terrible. You don't need voices on characters that don't matter. They don't matter. When you leave Midgar, they don't fucking matter anymore. They don't matter. We're thrusting angrily because they don't matter. Why do I have Charlie Sheen running around with me with a fucking Rambo headband on? What is that about? What is this game? Doesn't make any sense. None of these characters matter when we leave Midgar. When we're out fighting fucking Midgar Solomon and we're seeing Sephiroth stab the snake with the fucking giant sword and the pike, who's not there? Anybody from Avalanche? Anyone? Nobody except for fucking Barrett. Whoop-de-doo.
Okay. I was going to bring up Barrett because
and his yeah.
I'll be honest with you. So first off, really quick, I want to chime in on this. Final Fantasy VII, the original, is the only Final Fantasy game I have ever completed. It is the only one. And when they announced the remake, I was like, okay, I do have some interest. It's the only Final Fantasy RPG I've ever finished. Luckily, I have learned not to pre-order games, thanks to a number of games. Thanks to Destiny 2. Thanks to Destiny 2.
Yeah.
I still haven't learned.
No, Batman Arkham City taught me a lesson. It taught me a lesson. Anyway, so I didn't pre-order this, and then I watched a little bit of it, and I watched people stream it, and then I realized, oh, this is an incomplete game. This isn't Final Fantasy VII. This is Final Fantasy VII 1/3, right?
Right.
And so
if we're lucky.
Yeah, and so I'm like, I just noped the fuck out. I'm like, because I hate that shit. Lord of the Rings, the 3 movies are fucking beautiful. The 3 movies are beautiful. And then fucking whatever wingnut, whoever it is, decided that the New Line Cinema was like, hey, we need another cash cow.
Yeah,
let's make The Hobbit into 3 movies. The shortest book of all of them. Let's make it into 3 movies. And what happened? It was a slog, right? I mean,
boring as fuck.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's not bad. It's boring, right? Like if they condensed it, right? It's Kill Bill 1 and 2. If they talked at a normal pace, Kill Bill would have been 1 movie, right? And so, and then, yeah, I see Barrett. I'm watching a streamer and I see Barrett and Barrett's voice comes out and I'm like, oh shit, they Jar Jar Binks to Barrett right up.
Fucking Mr. T.
Yeah. They Jar Jar Binks to right up.
Gun on his arm.
Yeah.
The first time you hear Barrett's voice actor, you're like, am I allowed to listen to this? Is this gonna get me canceled by listening to this performance? Does nobody else feel like this is maybe a little bit stereotypical? Does this not feel bad?
Yeah,
but the whole voice cast. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I can't even say the phrase that I want to say in Barrett's voice.
No,
because it would be a hate crime.
And like, I don't want to shit on the voice actors themselves because they're all fantastic. Right. They're all professionals and they are all great actors. But when the Game Awards just finished the other month and they did the nominations for Best Actor, Aerith, whatever, she was up for one of the nominations for the award. I think she might have actually won for Final Fantasy Rebirth. And I cringed so hard when I heard that the voice actor, the character that was going to be nominated. I'm like, no, because Aerith in Final Fantasy Remake is awful. I can't stand that character. The actor is fantastic. Don't anybody say that I'm shitting on the actor. I love the actors in this game, 100%. But the character dialogue, the way it's written, it is cringy as fuck. It's so beyond cringe, and I cannot stand it. And if it's not being
if we're shitting on anything, it's the writing. Yeah. It's not the people doing it. It's the fucking writing.
Well, and somebody told that voice actor for Barrett to do that voice. Somebody told them to do that. Yeah.
And he's like, really?
Yeah.
Barrett's a great character. Like in the original, fantastic character with Marlene, and eventually finds out the one who betrayed him down the road. The whole gun arm thing. It's really rad. But every time I had to deal with him, there's the one scene in Remake. I'm sorry, I'm going to derail the chart for a second. There's the one scene where you have to pull a lever at the same goddamn time as Barrett or as Tifa, and every time you fuck it up, Barrett gives you one-liners. And I screwed it up so many times, he started to repeat the same one-liners of how I was fucking up and how I was failing Avalanche, and I wanted to throw my controller. I was taking videos and sending them to Chard during this time, and I'm like, why am I playing this game? But you know what the worst part is, Chard, about this game? Rebirth comes out on PC on the end of January, and for a brief minute, I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta."
No, we both did it.
Yeah, I gotta pick that up.
How many times did I tell you guys that I was like, "I'm gonna get on PS5," and you're like, "Don't do it." I'm like, I gotta do it. I gotta see. I gotta know, and I didn't.
Gotta know.
I'm over it.
I gotta know where the story doesn't go.
The FOMO. The FOMO.
And everything I've heard about Rebirth is that it's worse in terms of like the story going nowhere because it's the middle chapter. It's it's not going to have a satisfying ending no matter what they do. And I know GP likes Remake a lot, and we talked a bit about this with him before, and he's kind of said, well, they're doing a bit of a different spin on it with like a multiverse type of thing, and I appreciate that, I do, but I don't feel it hits until the last 10 minutes of that game, and I don't think it's going to matter to me much in Rebirth, but I will still probably pick it up when it's hopefully on sale. But man,
Tell me.
no, you know you're going to buy it. You know you're going to buy it with me.
I'm not going to.
We're going to spend the summer playing Final Fantasy Rebirth, and then we're going to shit all over it for the rest of the year. You know you're going to buy it. You can't tell me you're not going to.
I'm doing it for
like
the podcast.
Me not buying Dragon.
Not doing it for me.
Y'all are sitting on your wallets, and your wallets are in your pants going.
No, they're not. I don't have my wallet here. I take it away from me, so I can't buy anything. It's on lockdown right now.
Yeah,
remake is. You know, God. Like Jake said, it's Kingdom Hearts, right? It's Kingdom Hearts mechanics. It's beautiful. The music is spectacular. It's Uematsu just fucking flowing, and that's where it kept getting me because I was like, well, at least the music's pretty. This whole story is pissing me off, but the music is gorgeous. And I just was like, these people think I'm fucking stupid. Because all they got to do is add some cellos and a fucking flute to something. And I'm like, oh, that's better. That's already better. So, I don't know, man. I wanted to like it, and I tried, and I beat it. And when I was done, I was like, well, there's 30 and a half hours I'll never fucking get back. Fantastic. Because it didn't end like... Even when they thought that maybe this was going to be a one and done, which they never did, but it kind of felt like maybe, you know, they were just going to do their multiverse spin on it, and we were going to live our fucking lives after that. Thank you, Marvel. But it just like it ended, and there was no satisfaction at all at the end of this game. The boss fight at the end was fucking stupid, and I even went, "That's it." That's the big bad at the end of the game. I can't even remember it, Jake. I just remember it being weird. I can't remember what we did
for no goddamn reason. So many stages,
different colors. That's all I remember.
Was it Final Fantasy 14 where you like had to move to certain positions?
No,
no. 14 was cool. I like 14.
Cool. Yeah, same.
Like they should have taken 14's ideas and done that for the final boss. Is what they should have done.
Easily, they do it in fucking Path of Exile. It works great. But that's just me.
Anyways, you know what sucks too is I beat that game, and I'm like, I have the integrated edition like you do.
Yeah.
Which for those who don't know comes with the DLC where you play as Yuffie. I liked Yuffie. I spun up the DLC and I noped out within 20 minutes. I'm like, nope, I'm not going back to Midgard. Nope, she's cool, but no, I'm not doing any of this. Especially when I found out, and I was so pissed off when I found out, everything you do in Remake does not carry over to Rebirth. Right. Literally nothing you do matters in Remake.
Nothing matters.
Nothing. That is infuriating. None of your materia, your items, your upgrades, your nothing. There's not even a code you can copy over. No decisions you make. Nothing you do in Remake. You could skip Remake and just play Rebirth if that's what you want. If you just want to see Tifa and Ares in a fucking bikini with her tits out on the beach, then you can go buy Rebirth at full price right now on Steam.
Or get Stellar Blade, because at least the story's good.
Hey, at least fucking Bard's Tale goddamn 2. In 1986, you could import characters from Wizardry.
Yeah.
And Bard's Tale 1. Like, what game in
Dragon's Age.
In the last 40 years.
Mass Effect.
Fucking Mass Effect.
We could go on. We could go on where these games combined into the next one, and the shit that you decided to do carry over. So one of the reasons I like those games was because decisions made sense. Now a game that is literally its own game in the fucking 1997 is now being broken up to 3, and they're like, I don't need to go together.
Like,
that's
not asking for much. Just let me carry my material with me.
When they go to fucking Del Sol, they'll forget all about that shit. When they go to Honda Del Sol or whatever the fucking goddamn island they go to. That's a car, by the way. But anyway,
it's part of Final Fantasy 7 lore. Yeah, I'm with you. I hate this game. I hate it, but I'm gonna play Rebirth, and so are you. You know we are. It's just a matter of time whether we buy it on release day, which I hope we don't do, or we wait for a fucking Steam sale. Yeah, I know, Sinistar. For the audio listeners, Sinistar's making the money symbol. We're tossing away at the strip club that is Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. You know we're going to. But
hey, you got out of Wukong for Chinese New Year, sir, so you just cool your jets. All right. They bridge it for that.
God, yeah, it's a bad one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep. All right. So
Okay.
I'm 4 for 4 right now, Mr. I can't, your list is going to suck.
No.
Thank
He
you.
didn't. He likes tactics.
I like tactics. You're wrong
right.
there.
You
I
like-
think you're
I'm
crazy for
three,
that.
fine,
I
I'm
understand
3
why
for
you don't
4,
like
that's-
it though, and I don't hate you for it, but I understand why you don't like it. I think it's a genre
You hate me
problem.
for
You just
other
don't like tactics games. I don't know why you like Shine Force 2 and you hate on tactics though. That's
got a
will
good
always be
story.
weird. Yeah.
And it's a Sega thing. I don't know.
Mm.
Anyways, it doesn't make sense
Anyway.
because I should, by all rights and purposes, I should fucking hate Shining Force 2.
Well,
Especially
also
Shining Force
remember,
2.
you said this earlier. As an adult, your time is more valuable. As a kid, when
Yes.
Yeah.
Shining Force 2 came out,
Yeah.
you were probably like, I got all the time in the world.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
just sit and,
I'm very much cognizant of how much time I have left
Yeah,
in
yeah.
my life.
We only
I
have
don't
so
have
many
time
hours to play
Persona
Final Fantasy
5.
games left.
I can't do a 205-hour fucking RPG right now. I just can't.
Octopath Traveler, what?
Yeah. You guys let me know how that one goes. All right.
Well, we got
number
three of us playing
one.
it.
What's your number
Anyway.
one?
So, what if I just spout out Breath of the Wild here and just blow everybody's fucking mind? I just fucking crush Jake's poor soul and half of the listeners here press me to cancel. Don't worry, it is not Breath of the Wild, but please listen to the end of the audio and you'll get that connection. But anyways, so this fucking game, this game is by far the bar that is the lowest of the low for me. That most games are better than this game will ever become. This game is terrible. If they did a fucking remake of this game, I would buy it just so I could burn it in a trash fire. I fucking hate everything about this game. The story is stupid. The characters are dumb. The mechanics are fucking dumb. Everything about this game is fucking stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. And no one will ever change my mind. I don't care who you are who comes to me and gives me some kind of fucking synopsis as to why Squall is the way he fucking is. He's a dumb goddamn character. He's stupid. He's wasted. And he's a pointless fucking character. Final Fantasy VIII is the worst goddamn game that has ever been created by any fucking gaming company ever made out there. I don't care. I'd rather play Destiny 2. I would rather fucking play Final Fantasy Tactics. I would rather play Final Fantasy fucking retrograde remake, retrofitted fucking whatever the fuck comes out next. I don't care. I would rather play any of those than ever see Squall and his shit ass goddamn company of idiots roll with him ever again. Final Fantasy VIII is terrible. It is terrible. I have a theory that the only reason people like Final Fantasy VIII is because it's the first Final Fantasy they ever fucking played, so they didn't know any better. And that's not your fault. It's okay. It's okay to be in the dark. It's fine. But understand that it's not okay to like Final Fantasy VIII. It's not. I don't know why you would. The story is terrible. Draw system for magic that uses to boost your fucking abilities? Get that shit out of there. What about this wonderful story? Oh, we're these people that are part of a militant group. We're a fucking militia going out to kill a fucking dark witch. But oh, wait. We were all friends in an orphanage and totally forgot. We just fucking forgot. What's the fuck? That's the climax? Oh, we forgot. I forget my keys every day, guys. That's not a climax. That's awful.
I haven't watched through Final Fantasy VIII because of how much you hate this game. I haven't. But like literally the twist is collective amnesia.
Yes. Same orphanage. And your teacher was the witch.
Yeah. Your teacher is the chick you're going to kill in the first half of the game. So when you become part of Seed, which is the militant group, yes, Seed. There's seeds
great
in
name
a garden.
for a group. Yes.
All of the fucking schools are called gardens because you're a seed in it. Fucking stupid. So they get these things called Guardian Forces or GFs and not girlfriends, Guardian Forces. So when you refer to a GF, you're not talking about girlfriend, talk about your Guardian Force. There's a lot of finger quoting here because it's this fucking stupid. What the Guardian Forces do to you when you use them in battle and training is help take your memories away so you forget about your fucking past. And then there's this whole thing with Laguna. Everybody loves Laguna, where his timeline starts fucking... What the fuck? It's like it's like they could have made a Laguna DLC and made more sense than...
Yes.
We're just going to shove this fucking asshole in the middle of it. He's comic relief. Then he turns out to be the super important guy, but he seems completely useless throughout like most of the playthrough of the game. And then he falls in love with Renona like that. There's no like chemistry. There's no like, hey, you can see something here. You can see something here. He's just like, no, I just love her all of a sudden. It's just all of a sudden.
I hate sand.
Oh man,
it gets in all the place. It gets all in whatever the line is. I hate sand.
Yeah, that's Kafka. It works. But this,
well, no. I'm quoting not Phantom Menace, but the
Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Okay.
The third.
I thought you were quoting Kafka because he talks about getting sand in his boots when he's walking.
No, I'm talking like one of the worst ever, like romance stories in a movie ever. That's this, right?
That's this. Yeah. He just all of a sudden he's like, I'm totally in love with this chick, and he goes out and risks his life to save her floating out in space, which that whole cutscene made me fucking go absolutely crazy. He goes out, she has no air left in her oxygen suit because they're in space. She's dead, essentially. He goes out there, somehow she's revived and can breathe with no air in her suit. And what else shows up? Ragnarok, the ship, just drops out of the fucking sky. Nobody saw that coming. This dude is literally floating out in the middle of fucking space, guys. Space. There's nothing out there. He's not going out there going, hey, there's Ragnarok. All right, cool. We'll be able... You don't see it. But then it shows up like it was parked across the street. You're like, what the fuck? Where did this thing come from? There's nothing out here. It doesn't make... There's so much Deus Ex Machina thrown in this fucking game that it's ridiculous. Because they were just like, we have to figure out how to force this goddamn story forward. So we're just going to throw everything, every act of God that we can at these people just to get them out of these situations. Because none of it made any sense to me at all. It was awful.
This game is so bad, I continually blank out and forget about several of those moments like you mentioned. Like the orphanage bit, I keep getting shocked and upset all over again whenever it comes up. I'm like, right, that's where the story went. Fuck those guys. Or the space sequence was infuriating, and it plays that lame song "Eyes on Me," which I hate. That song. It drives me nuts. I think it's the lamest song.
Eyes on Me.
Just out of nowhere.
Eyes on Me.
We
called every song on that game, hey, it's Eyes on Me.
It's so bad. Like I'll give it its due in two areas. Just two. One, it does the same trick that Final Fantasy VII does, where they started incorporating FMV in the backgrounds of certain key scenes.
Yes.
In 8, there's a garden. It's garden battle where the two gardens are locked in combat, and there's back and forth between the two. That whole sequence was admittedly cool as shit. There's a part where you're hanging off of one of these flying enemies and you're punching the dude, and in the background they have an FMV video of the garden battles. That stuff is cool. The opening cinematic is cool as shit, where Squall fights Zephyr.
Dude,
like the trailers for FF8.
And you pop that shit in, and you've got a Fidel's, whatever the song is that Uematsu wrote for that, and they're fucking battling it out. Him and Seifer are just going to town, and you're like, holy shit, dude, this is epic. This is like Star Wars level fucking epicness. The music is beautiful. The cinematography is fantastic. And then you forget who your friends are. That's
I like that.
Literally, that's the game.
I like that Jake keeps forgetting the bad parts. Like this is selective memory of the video game.
It is. No, he's got a guardian force for Final Fantasy VIII.
You know why though? It's because I don't want to hate Final Fantasy games. I want to like the franchise. Part of me is like, I should do what Chard did and play the entire franchise, but I don't have 1,000 hours to do that. But also, there's a lot of bad moments in these games. But 8 especially, when I bought it, at the time I appreciated the value of playing a long ass game. But now to go through it and the payoff in the story is they're friends all along is so bad. And Cypher or Sepher, whatever the hell his fucking name is, his whole thing where they try and frame as, he just wants to be a knight for the beautiful queen arc. It is so, again, cringy dialogue, cringy writing. I begin to wonder, was Final Fantasy VII writing ever good? But then I remember 6 was great. I love 6. 6 still holds up to me now. Even 4 is okay. But 7 and then 8, I don't know where the hell what they did with the dialogue, but it does not hold up.
9
the only other thing I like in this game, the music and parts is great, but 8 has the card game, which I can't
Oh, yeah,
remember
Triple
now.
Triad.
I've selectively
Yeah,
forgot
Triple
it.
Triad.
Triad.
Went?
I love Triple
Triple Triad.
Triad enough that when it came to Final Fantasy
Triad.
14, I resubbed to Final Fantasy 14 just to go to the Golden Saucer and play freaking Triple Triad. I love that game so much more than anything else in Final Fantasy 8, and it's
I would
crazy.
play Triple Triad on my phone. Like,
Yeah, and it
it's a
should
fun
be
game.
on.
It's like
Yeah.
a Final Fantasy Balatro. It's fun.
Yes.
I don't like card games in most games, but I enjoyed playing Triple. Like once I figured it out and learned the systems, then it was fun.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it's like a shitty fucking game with a cool mini game smashed in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And you can't say like everything went downhill because I know your feelings about Final Fantasy X. They do not agree with mine at all. 9's writing is spectacular. 9 had a great fucking story with great fucking characters, and it's had a weird boss fight at the end that was the only thing that was strange. So 7 I think is strong. 8 is very, very weak. 9 was like, okay, back to normal, and then 8 and so on and so forth. So 13 almost got on this list too, but I kept it off because reasons.
Tactics.
But
9 is one of those games
yeah.
I wish I played. I almost picked 9 as my Sisyphean game for this year. I was very close, but again, it was a time thing. I didn't really want to commit to a JRPG because I know how long they can get. But I will play 9 at some point because I've heard nothing but good things about 9. Nobody ever hates 9. Nobody. 8, 10, 11, 12, or not 11, 12, 13. People have things to say about those ones, but nobody ever hates 9.
Right. And it's funny because it's like 8 made me not play 9 for years because I bought them both.
Yeah. Same.
And I played 8. Went, this is so bad. I am not going forward. And I had gotten the PlayStation 2 and I had already played 10. So I knew 10 was good for me. But I was like, I won't play 9 because 8 is so shitty. I just won't do it. 9 is the best PS1 version Final Fantasy that was ever made. Hands down. And that's going up against 7. So 7's good. But I don't think it's any 9. And you got Chocobo Hot and Cold. I mean, come on. That's a killer minigame. So, but yeah, so Final Fantasy VIII, that's not a shocker to anybody who knows me or hung out with me or has had any kind of lengthy conversation with me about video games. That game is terrible. I hate it. And there's not a game in this planet that I have played in the last 42 years I've fucking been alive, and 7 to 8 years I've streamed on Twitch that has ever taken that crown. And I don't think anything ever will. I have to play something real fucking bad. Real fucking bad. And the problem is like the first 1 through 7 Final Fantasies, not all of them were magical. They were all consistent, at least, to be like, okay, I don't think 2 and 3 are great, but they're fun. I enjoyed playing them to the point of where I'm going to play the Pixel remasters at some point. But you know what I will never do again? Ever play Final Fantasy VIII. Ever. Unless I'm doing something charitable and I need to punish myself for it. That will be the only reason.
I'm
People
pretty
keep
sure
trying
at
to
this
get me to
point,
get the badge for it, and I will not turn it on ever again.
I'm pretty sure at this point you'll find absolutely every other punishment besides Final Fantasy VIII to run for a charity.
I will stick a George Foreman grill underneath my desk and stick my foot on it instead of play that goddamn game again. With it closed. Okay. I will be Michael Scott, and I will
Foreman
bacon at the foot of my bed, and I will stick my foot on it getting out of bed, and it will close on me, and I'll have to get Dwight to come and rescue me.
George Foreman foot grill level badness.
That's awful. Awful.
That's going on the wheel pay next year.
It should be. That should be on there.
So you said I won't spend too much time on it, but you mentioned Final Fantasy 13 was an honorable mention of games you don't like. Was there any other honorable mentions for this list?
You're trying to goat me into getting people to not like this show, Jake.
I would never do that. People already hate you for your take on tactics. You did this to yourself.
That's fair. I have a big issue with Dragon's Quest 11. It bored the hell out of me.
It's a slow
game. It's boring.
Slow. It's just super slow. And I have to say that it's probably my age and me recognizing that I don't have time to spend on these kinds of games very much anymore. So it's not bad. It's just it's very slow and it bored me to tears and I was just done. I had to walk away from it. You'll hear a whole rant about this particular game, but I'm putting Breath of the Wild on there as an honorable mention for me. Because by all intents and purposes, you would think it's a Dark Souls-esque Legend of Zelda. How could I hate that?
That's
Easy.
on you.
You fucking make
for thinking that.
Fucking mechanics, like weapons breaking and no way to fucking get my ass from point A to point B a little quicker than it does. At least you got Epoch and fucking Link to the Past. You got shit. You got your feet. You got left and right. You got thunder and lightning.
You can
taking
fly.
You can
I
glide.
can float. I can fly down. I can't go anywhere else. It's dumb. I tried very hard to like it. I played it for several hours, and I was like, I can't handle this anymore. I'm so over this fucking game. Maybe I'll come back to it and I'll change my tune, but I just liked it so much that I won't even play Tears of the Kingdom. Because
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. When a game introduces a mechanic like weapon breaking, honestly, that drives me away. And part of it
Zelda.
is part of
It's
it. Part of
fucking
it.
Zelda.
Yeah, part of it
Sorry.
is for me is that time sink, right? Okay, sure. I have to do the time sink to go find the awesome weapons. Oh, fuck me. Now I have to go do the time sink to go get the parts to repair weapons, or I have to do the time sink to go get a different weapon because this one's just dead forever. I mean, it's just I don't know.
So-
I mean, I
Really
get
worse than being
I
cornered
get
by something and going through 5 different weapons that keep fucking breaking on me on the first swing, because apparently there's a percentage that you have to make sure it doesn't break on. I was like, I don't want to use anything. I can't fight because I can't use any weapons because I don't want to use any of them. These are all cool weapons. I get
all
to
of
use
a
them
sudden
twice.
all of a sudden you're like, I don't know that I want to use my fists or my feet anymore because they may break too.
Thank you.
That's
And-
true
and,
realism.
you know, you do
Realism
the
when
dungeons.
your fist break in Zelda.
And
Look,
the
I
fun
don't like
thing
the
about
weapon.
the dungeons was getting new stuff, and it just
Yeah.
felt like all the other dungeons was like you're not getting like once you're done getting the cool, the cool switch module fucking spells and stuff that you can move stuff and push stuff around and whatnot. Once you're done with that, like there's nothing else to go in there for except for like more life or a Deku seed or some bullshit. I just was like, this is rinse, lather, rinse, repeat, and I'm tired of washing my hair. I don't want to wash my hair anymore.
The thing with Breath of
Like,
the
it's
Wild
insane.
is, I think it's the Link's Adventure problem that on the NES the sequel had, where that game would have been better received had it been called anything else, had it been any other main character. I think if Breath of the Wild was released as a spin-off with a new protagonist, fucking put Tingle in there. I don't care. I think it would have been more well received because you have to get fans of the franchise, and I'm one of them. You had to tell them, hey, the items don't matter anymore. Don't worry about what you pick up. It's going to break. It really doesn't matter. You can play with anything. You can beat things with a stick, a pot lid if you need to. Once you get around that, you start to like the game more. And that's a hard wall for people to climb over. It does.
That kills me. That kills me.
Okay.
I love looter shooters. I love looter shooters because I'm getting the bigger, better, badder, faster gun, right? Like, I mean, it's not this whole like, well, fuck that one and I'm done with it. I'll just go beat somebody with a pot lid.
Right.
And you get some cool shit. You get some cool
Yeah.
weapons that you use 3 times. And then even you get the Master Sword. And then it fucking breaks. It's the fucking Master Sword, dude.
Don't call it the Master Sword.
It comes back after 5 minutes. But yeah, so again, I'm going to say it's like 5 minute timer and it re-energizes. It's the Master Sword. It comes back. It's the only one it does.
Minutes, come on.
But I'm telling you, it's the same thing. It's not a looter shooter. It's purely an exploration and puzzle game. It's not a Zelda game. It's an exploration game and a puzzle game. I think the shrines are awesome. There's 120 of them in the game, largely optional, and they're basically puzzles. Each one is individual, and I love them. I do wish there were proper dungeons in that game, and it's why me and Wolf in our episode talk about Tears of the Kingdom. I think I said several times, to me, Tears of the Kingdom is pretty much a replacement of Breath of the Wild because it has classic dungeons plus shrines plus other stuff in that game. So I think you might like Tears of the Kingdom more. If anything, there's vehicles in it, or you make your own vehicles. Although I will say shield surfing in Breath of the Wild, pretty rad. I did a lot of that once you figure out how to do it, but they don't really tell you how. I understand why people don't like Breath of the Wild, but the weapon thing, you have to get over the weapons. They don't matter, and that is a hard thing to tell a fan of Zelda. Your items don't matter shit. All you need to know is you can spawn infinite bombs with the power. You can magnetize things, and the game kind of like encourages you to do random physics stuff to kill enemies, and that's the fun part, is the emergent gameplay as stuff just happens around you, and that's wild. Like watching a speed run of this where they freeze time. whack a boulder a bunch of times and jump on it and let time unfreeze, and you go flying across the map to the final castle. It's the stuff like that happens all the time in game, and it's pretty fun. But it's not a Zelda game, and it's weird.
I loved the puzzles in the shrines. I really did. Like, I absolutely loved that feature.
Right. But that's more Zelda-y.
Well, but I'll be honest with you, the first time I ran into like an ice area and I started fucking freezing.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden I'm like, and I'm done. Like,
I'll
and
admit.
Then trying to like arrow bodkins or whatever the hell those fuckers are. Like, I got so tired of that shit. Anyway.
I thought that the environmental thing was kind of neat. Like the too hot and the too cold. I thought that was kind of a cool aspect. And that was one of the things that I was like, okay, I like environmental shit that happens to you when you do stuff. I think that's a cool thing. But it's so an un-Zelda that I'm a diehard that cannot get past that. I really can't. A beautiful game, plays fucking great, a lot of fun to play up to a point until I'm just like, all the stuff that it's the same thing with tactics. All the things that I have worked for and I have earned are now gone because I used them. Not because of because I fucking used it. At least in Dark Souls, I can rebuild my weapons. Like, I can put shit into them. And even when they break, I can still fucking repair them. They don't just smash on a rock. And I'm like, well, I guess I got this stick.
You just compared the death of your party members in Tactics with the breaking of your swords in Zelda.
Look,
they're just tools, people. They're just tools to be used and discarded.
Have you read the lore on the weapons? Those are people, my friend. Those are people.
Well, no, that's the blocks. But that's different.
All right. You hate Breath of the Wild. That's fine. All right. So Breath of the Wild, Dragon's Quest.
I hate it.
Oh, okay.
No, and I'm with him. I'm with him on Dragon's Quest 11. I fucking loved Dragon Quest 8. I adored Dragon Quest 8. I played the hell out of that. We were trying to find every fucking chest, the whole thing. And then, Dragon Quest 11, I'm like, oh, it's beautiful. I've got the fucking, slimes. I've got all of the great named enemies.
Yeah.
I love Dragon Quest's naming of enemies because it's clever as shit, right? And then I'm just like, it's a hallway simulator. It's just a hallway simulator, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It is a JRPG in the purest sense. And like, I love the original Dragon Warrior back in the day when it was Dragon Warrior here, not Quest. I love the art style is amazing, right? They have Toriyama did all the character designs like he always has for that series. And they're just beautiful. Like you said, the music is decent. I love how it has the retro 8-bit sound effects for things when I think it was leveling up sound. Anyway, I love all that shit. But the story, I fell asleep more times than I want to admit. This is even after I got a fucking CPAP, and I was still falling asleep playing this game. It was bad, and I think it is a hardcore JRPG for those fans of that genre, and I just don't think I'm a fan of the genre anymore. And that's all it is. It's like Chard doesn't like tactics games. I just think it takes a hell of a lot for me to want to play a JRPG again. It really does.
Correct.
So, and that's fine.
Yeah, I'm there with you. And so we're going to see how Octopath Traveler goes.
Just a JR fucking RPG.
I'll remind you that I've already started playing through half of that and got pissed off and stopped playing it. So I'm going to give it another shot.
Yeah.
So that it does not end up on my top 10 bottom.
I've started one of the characters. We'll see how this goes. No, I actually always wanted to play it. We talked in our MPs for those listening. Wolf and I both played the demo quite a bit. When I got my Switch right off the bat, I was like, I don't want to spend money, but I want to try stuff out. And I tried the Octopath Traveler demo, and it's the main reason it was on my wish list is because I love the demo. So I'm hopeful. I'm not shitting on it. I'm making a joke about time, but I'm going to see if I can make the time.
Yeah,
we're busy people, man.
I'm shitting on
a 9 to 5.
Yeah,
we have houses and wives.
I'm shitting on adult time. That's what I'm shitting on.
Right.
It's hard to balance everything when you're, paying a mortgage and raising children.
Yeah, it's
It's
100-hour RPG is a big ask of me. Like I thought about picking it up again. Like maybe I'll give it a shot, but I'm like, no. There's so many games I would rather play right now. It's not that one. I would play Sea of Stars before I play. I think Octopath.
Sea of Stars, so fucking good.
I
God,
know.
it's such a
I
good
know. All right, one more time. Can you just give a run down your list real quickly for the listeners for your top 5 or your bottom 5?
If I can remember which ones they were, because they're not what I wrote on here. Destiny 2
fluid
is number
list.
5. Destiny 2 is number 5. Mega Man 7 was number 4. Final Fantasy Tactics was number 3. Final Fantasy 7 Remake was number 2, and the crowning shit crown goes to Final Fantasy 8 for number 1 spot.
A solid list. Solid list. Even if I don't agree with some of your honorable mentions, it's a solid list.
See, the honorable mentions are okay to not agree with, because even then I'm still very much on the fence on whether they should have made it or not.
Right.
But definitely those 5 stand the test of time and have constantly disappointed me every time I fucking look back at them. I always go,
all right,
when I think of those games.
Well, so for those, just to quickly wrap up, for those who've enjoyed listening to Chard hate on several games, because people always love it when people shit on games, and then there are a few people who are fans of these games who send us nasty grams, but that's fair. That's fair. If you want to hear more about Press B to Cancel, you can check us out on YouTube, Press B to Cancel, or you can listen to our audio episodes anywhere you listen to audio podcasts, including Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, of course, anywhere else. You can also find us at pressbtocancel.com or pressb.org. We're also a member of the SuperPod Network of podcasts, of gaming podcasts, much like ours. You can find a master list of all those podcasts over at superpodnetwork.com. As well, folks, Sinistar, where can folks find you?
So I'm mainly doing the DJ stuff under my alt account, DJ Sinistar. That's one word, no underscores. DJ Sinistar. And otherwise, I have installed and uninstalled Cyberpunk. So I've beaten it.
Well
there
done.
You go. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Well done.
Now you got to reinstall for the DLC.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I haven't finished Phantom Liberty. Come on.
Hell on there.
That's an install away.
For myself, you can find me mostly here at Press B. I also have a new solo podcast coming out called I'm Sorry Video Games, where we fucking like tactics on my show. Just throwing that out there. Link to my YouTube channel to be discussed later. Chard, how about you? Where can folks find your fine face and your fine take on games?
Wow. You can find me bitching about Final Fantasy VIII over at www.twitch.tv/Chardmonk. You can also find me here on YouTube on my own channel under the name Chardmonk. You can also find me here with these fine gentlemen talking about games we both love and hate all the time, every Friday, as much as we can possibly put together. Also, I want to shout out that this bottom 5 is not a new thing, actually. For those who are new to the podcast or haven't listened the entirety, Jake has a bottom 5, Wolf, GP, I think even Bolsh has a bottom 5, if I'm not mistaken.
Too, yeah.
So everybody's got a bottom 5. Sinistar is the last one that needs to be done. So go back and listen to everybody else's stuff and check those out too, so we can get those numbers up, because these guys have been around longer than Sinistar and I have been a part of this team, and all the shit's been good. It's why we wanted to be a part of it for so long. So
yeah,
yep.
No, it's been a great list, and I'm looking forward to doing one with Sinistar in the very near future. And I think at some point we need to redo the rest of the team's episodes in video form, because the ones we have are audio, and they were early. they were way back.
I'm just gonna warn you. Balloon Fight and Circus Charlie will be on my list.
You know, you clearly have not played many video games, sir, if you think Balloon Fight is a bottom 5 game, but that's okay. All right, folks, that's an episode. That's a whole 3.5 liters of milk. This has been Press B to Cancel. We'll see you next week.
none of this game makes any sense.